$40 to get where I want to be, I'll put a hard target in there and hit it and go. So it kind of depends. And I always use an automated strategy. I always have either an 8-tick, you know, the thing where it's got an 8-tick target or a 15-tick target. I got 2 or 3 set up.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now, did you make any progress at all on? Remember, we were trying to figure out on the DT Pro DOM if we could make it do any of the fancy stuff they were doing on the Ninja DOM.
I spent hours looking at that thing. I scoured that manual high and low.
Okay.
And
I think we're asking it to do something. I think we're asking it to do something that it's just not built to do. So.
Yeah, it's got the multi-bracket trades, but the best I could figure out that was for multiple contracts. So you got one contract doing one thing and one contract doing another. But I looked. Now, it's got easy language. You can do easy language and some stuff that's a little bit beyond what I was willing to invest at the time. It just
sure.
But I have been doing something. Now that I'm getting closer this weekend, I did something I thought you might be interested in looking at.
Okay.
If you are, and it has to do with the 24/20 plan.
Sure.
Can you throw it to me so you can see this one little thing that I'm doing?
Oh yeah, you bet. Let me walk around the corner here to my desk. Okay, desk. Bless us. Okay. I am going to make you the presenter. And there you go. So now you will have to accept, and I think it'll do a tiny download, and then I'll see your chart.
Okay. Is it sharing it? So I shared my
okay.
one.
I now see the daily performance tracker.
Okay, check this out. So this is an enhancement that I'm going to try to do. And I did have a question for you about it. So up here is from the 24/20 plan. It's your numbers, right? 210 net week 1, 210 week 2, net profit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then here's where you total this. So your account would have 210 the first week, 420 the second week, 630 the third week, all the way till you get to week 10. And that's module 1, right?
Okay. Now, that's gross before commissions?
No, that's net. That's after.
Okay. And now you're accounting for 10 trades per day?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Now, this is coming right out of your document.
Okay. Gotcha.
So what I did was I put this little date picker out here. So you can pick a date, let's just say August 17th. And what it does is, so it goes in and mines the data from the spreadsheet. And it looks at this. So what I did is I went into the account, from the spreadsheet that I created. It goes into this part where you have this account balance thing. This is the thing that does all the carryover and all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I just went in there and put August 17th, right? Now this this isn't a good date because this has my last failure day where I lost 275. But just as an example, what it does is it takes this net profit number over here, and it applies it to the 24/20 plan by week. So in this case, it shows, and then I graphed it. So at the bottom here, you can see week 1, it shows a loss of $21.41. And it takes, so what it does is it totals up to 5 sessions, right? And then in week 2, it shows a total of $289.50. You see the little chart down here?
Yeah.
That, it shows you graphically your performance against the 24/20 goal. And it'll map it all the way out. You can see, you know,
so in other words, this is mapping what you actually did against the goal. Is that?
Yep.
Okay.
Against the targeted goal. Because
I got you.
Now that I'm real, you know, I'm going to start with the real plan. I want to see how I'm doing against the plan.
Okay.
And so if I were actually going to do this, let's just say I started. Let me go back. It's got this little pop-up in my way down. Oh, hide. Okay. There we go.
Did you get rid of it? Okay.
Yeah, I see it now. Okay, so if I were going to go back to my real, you know, I reset the thing, and if you look at 8/19, that's when my string started, right? So this is what it would look like. You go back to the start date, put in the 19th. It goes out and does its calculation. Now you can see the first 5 days of that, I actually netted $440.75. And then it graphically put it down here. It doesn't do week 2 because I've only done 4 additional days.
Okay, so you're on day 9. Yeah, right.
Right, now tomorrow, if I hit, you know, whatever that number is, it's going to put the net out there, not the gross, and graph it at the end of 5 days. I thought this was a pretty, now, see, it's motivating to me to see progress against goals.
Oh, yeah. No, I think this is now, is this in a release that you've put out yet? Or is this still something that you're working on? This tab I started this weekend. Okay.
So once I get it.
So week 1, you ended up with, tell me again what the results are for week 1.
So week 1, you see up here, my actuals in the simulator for the first 5 sessions were 440.75, and you get that by going back to that main sheet, and you can see if I look at net profits starting on the 19th and just go down five of them.
Okay, and the blueprint is assuming only that you're going to gross $100 a day, not net.
Right, and that's part of, you know, the gross over here is, well, they're all 100, over 100, right? But in this, let me pull this over. So this is what I used as the basis, was module 1 is an estimated 210 per week for 10 weeks. So this is
right, and I did that based on the fact that it would take 10 trades every day to make the $100.
Worst case, and that's what I'm measuring myself.
Worst case, yeah, worst case.
Yeah, right. So if you go back here, you see if I select the first 5 and I look at down here at the bottom, it shows the sum is 440.75. That's what I used here. It goes in and mines that data, figures out that it's 440.75, and then builds it out here. Now, how impressive would it be to be able to show this in a blog where, you know, on week 18 you're still cooking, and you're tracking right along. You got a blue bar down here in week 18, and you're showing that your account now is 5,000 plus dollars more than it was 18 weeks ago. To me, that's pure motivation.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah.
So, I don't know if I'm a nutcase.
No. This is good. This is really, really good.
Yeah, so I'll make sure it all works and stuff before I put it in a release, but and then I'll do a little video and kind of explain what it is. But my whole thing is to get, if I'm successful in using real money, I'm going to do that blog with your blessing, because I want to drive people to the site and do the reference so that I can build that secondary income of having referrals.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's what it's there for.
Yeah,
that's what it's there for. So you're on day 9. You're on the cusp of day 10, and you feel pretty cool, calm, collected.
Yeah, I feel like I don't feel any extra pressure. The only thing that I'm unsure of, I've never used the real. Are there any issues around fill, or does it act pretty much like the simulator? Is there anything I should worry about in terms of the mechanics, or is it all pretty much the same?
Well, theoretically, and in practical application, as far as I've seen, the live will perform better than the simulator. I mean, they're supposed to perform neck and neck, but live now, I might as well tell you that there's certain statements that I hear over and over and have for years repeatedly. I was killing it in sim, and then as soon as I went live, everything changed. Well, it usually takes a little prodding, but eventually we get down to the truth of the matter, and it turns out in many cases they weren't really killing it in sim, but they had convinced themselves they were killing it, because when they would make a mistake, or something just didn't go the way they thought it should go, well, that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
In other words, the ones that I do that work out the way I think they're supposed to work out, those are the ones that count because I got it right. They're not really accepting the fact that once you go live, there's no do-overs. Now, in your case, it's different in that you aren't pulling your leg. I mean, you've done the real deal, and you've documented it. That's huge. And so once you get through tomorrow, and then when you do go live, you aren't going to have any of the sins of the past come back to haunt you that haunt so many people. Some people not only fool themselves about if they were following all the rules, but I did 7 days, that's almost 10, kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in this industry, it's difficult to know who you can trust. Let me just, for the record, let me say, it's difficult to know who you can trust. But there better be one person you can trust, and that's yourself.
That's why I created this thing.
The day that you can't trust yourself, then, man, you might as well just, whatever money's left in your account, give it to a really good charity. Wow. Otherwise, you're going to give it to the CME, and they already have plenty of money. So
yeah,
I just can't stress enough with people, how you've got to be, and the fact that you didn't. Now this wasn't your first run at 10 consecutive days. What run was this? 3, 4?
I think I got to 6. Well, you can see. You know what? That's the beauty of this.
Yeah, you documented it. That's what I'm saying.
You see all these greens? You know, then you can see these are the 9. That was my bad day. Then before that, I made this run, and then I had 2 horrendous days. And then you can see, you know, 3 bad days, 1 good day, 2 bad days, 3 good days. All the way back. This goes all the way back to when I first started, February 17th.
Mm-hmm.
So I have it all. I mean, that's the reason I did it, is for myself, to be honest, to say, look, if you use real, I can remember doing a trade where I would chase one day way back in like February. I didn't know how to put a stop in or something, but I got cattywampus where I had a wild trade that had no downside stop loss. Mm-hmm. And I ended up chasing it for all over the place. Like, it's going to come back, you know, and ended up minus 35 ticks or something like that. That's like, I remember talking to my friend George Perkins saying, well, you know, I can't count this toward my, you know, he's like, oh yeah, if that was real money, you'd have to count it.
That's right.
So, but, you know, but to your point, a lot of people think, well, you know, I'm just, and that was my whole over trading thing that I had to overcome. Remember, I would get past the point where I knew I would never make my goal, and so I just, in the guise of practicing, I'd do 50 trades in a day. You know, and so anyway,
and let me ask you now, do you think that any of that helped you, or do you think that contributed to what I call negative screen time?
Definitely negative screen time, because there's no accountability at that point. And I think it's a dangerous thing to do because of what you just said about other folks who don't, you know, they go live and then all of a sudden it is real money, and you can't do that. You know, you chase one and you go down $500, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So that's why I did this for myself, and I don't know if others really want to know the truth. I think that's probably why this has a 95% washout rate. People don't want to know that they're not capable emotionally of trading, because it's all emotion. It has nothing to do with intelligence or any of that stuff. It's just emotion.
Did you hear the interview with Mark Douglas? Not this past Friday, but the Friday before.
I got it, and I listened to it's still on my to-do. I got through about the first 4 or 5 questions, and I haven't finished listening to it.
Because I think it was Jonathan, a friend of mine here in Phoenix, who's my Tuesday co-host. I think he said it's at we talked about it when he was on last week at about the 25-minute mark. And I'm trying to remember the specific topic that Mark brought up. Oh, was that your market analysis is such a small part of the overall equation?
Yeah.
Which goes to what you just said about it being an emotional kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But what's so critical is that on Wednesday, when you go live, you'll know in your heart, you know, not in your imagination, but in your heart, that you arrived here by practicing discipline and by learning and utilizing a specific skill set. Back to what I said earlier was, you know, the chances of you having 10 lucky days back to back, it's more likely that you will get struck by lightning while winning the lottery than for that to happen. So that has to give you just a tremendous amount of confidence, but yet it doesn't give you overconfidence. It doesn't make you feel all puffed up like, oh man, I'm just gonna go in Wednesday and slap this thing silly, because there's no surer way in the world than to get slapped silly than to go in with, that kind of an attitude. You're not Fred Astaire dancing on your desktop, and you're not fetal, underneath the desktop. You're just there to do the job.
Yeah.
This is the job. Let me get it done. Let me be as efficient in doing the job as possible. And what you brought up earlier in the conversation, factoring the weight into the trading. You said that when that day that you watched when Michael was out and I was in the trading room for like an hour and a half, you watched, and I didn't take a trade because I wasn't compelled to take a trade, and I was waiting to see something that really, fit the bill, that I saw as being, my trade. And not everyone has that luxury. I mean, you have to, and this is another plus in your column in regards to the discipline, is because you do have a day job. That what you've done over these last 9 days is you had to get up early, I'm going to assume, and, get awake, get focused, get your head in the game, knowing you still got to go do your whatever it is that you do after that. But yet, I mean, that is, I don't want to call you a Zen master or anything, but it's that same kind of discipline that, you arise early, you get your head in the game, you focus, you do what you have to do. And I'm real excited. Now, Jim and I, we had this kind of a conversation when he went from, I think when he was getting ready to add his third contract. Might have been the fourth, but I'm thinking it was when he was getting ready to add the third. He and I had a very similar talk to this. I think when he was getting ready to go live with his first one, he might have had to talk with Michael. Mm-hmm. So, and by the way, I think it's might be this week or next week that he graduates. Let's see. He's on 7 contracts now, and he's coming up on 8. I'm not sure. Now that I think about it, maybe last Wednesday he said September 15th would be when he goes to 8. But he's been having some good days. And
it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think I'd like, and I know he'd be willing, and I'm sure you would too, but I think I'd like at some point for you guys to have a conversation, and maybe compare some notes, because you're both exhibiting really good, trackable behavior, and I want that to just serve as an encouragement to everyone else who, and I keep having to tell people now, don't try to be Jim, and don't try to be Michael. Be you, and I think that's exactly what you've done. You said earlier that you haven't had much opportunity to be in the live trading room of late.
Mm-mm.
But once you learn the methodology, and once you learned the mechanics, you didn't need to be in the live trading room.
No, in fact, it gets in the way.
I was just getting ready to get to that point. Do you think that helped you by being away from that voice that was calling out trades that maybe you saw? See, here's where I know that people get themselves in trouble. They want to mirror Michael, okay?
Yeah.
Now, if we were putting on, swing trades or something where the entry, there was a lot of room for error on the entry, then yes, that's feasible. But in a fast-moving market, when he's working, 5, 6 different markets at a time, if somebody wants to listen to him, mimic what he has done, and if they were to manage to put together 10 consecutive days, not doing their own trading, but shadow trading him, I would find that to be amazing that they could put together 10 days that way. What I actually see is I see people get very frustrated. Well, I don't understand why he gets the trade and he gets 5 ticks, 6 ticks, 7 ticks, or hits his goal or gets out at break even, and I get an 8-tick stop. Well, it's because when he said if we get an up close, I'm going to enter at this price, like that, he's entering at that price, you're still reaching for your mouse.
Yeah.
And you're getting in late, and you're chasing the trade, and you're just hoping that it's going to go far enough that it will take you there. And at the end of 10 days, you can't, even if you could pull off 10 days of shadow trading him, you're still not ready to go live because you have not proved that you're a trader. You've proved that Michael's a trader and that you actually were fast enough to be able to copy him for 10 days. But so the fact that you've done this, not that I want to discourage anyone from listening to him, but I want them to listen just long enough to learn the mechanics and the methodology and to see a bit of the psychology. And that's where when he gets stopped out, he doesn't stop and moan and lick his wounds and kick the dog or yell. He just rolls into the next trade. It's as if it didn't even happen. He's like a steamroller. So I want people to see that. I want them to get that down in their spirit. I want them to write all that on the tablet of their heart. But then what I want them to do is go trade. They hear me say it almost every day, especially the guys that come in on a free trial. I say, look, watch him for 2 hours, take notes, then go practice for as much of the next 22 hours as you can.
Yeah.
You'll forget what he did. You'll forget what he said to do at this point. Write it down, write it down, write it down. You'll come back the next day with some really deep questions, and we'll know that you're on track, and you'll get special attention because we can tell that you're really trying to prove to yourself that this is something you can do. And if you'll do that 5 days in a row, at the end of 5 days, you'll have all the confidence in the world that you actually are capable of doing this. I mean, you're not ready to go live yet by any stretch, but you understand that you understand enough about what it takes, and you've proven it over a couple days by actually putting on and taking off trades in the simulator that it's something you can do. So,
well, I would go as far as to say I can remember Michael doing exactly what you said. He's got a trade on. I'm late to the party. I'm trying to figure out which market he's in or which mouse button to hit. And then I missed the trade, and it goes for, I can remember him saying, okay, now we move ourselves to break even. Okay, I'm taking 6 ticks. That's 8. That's 12. That's 15. And we're out at 18. Now I'm still looking at my mouse. And you know what my behavior was after that? Scan the chart, look for the next entry, and jump on it as quick as possible because I got to catch up. And it's not a trending market, or I make a mistake. And then I'm in a frenzy. Now I'm taking trades in 2 markets at once, and I'm trying to catch up because I missed that one trade. I remember doing that, Dwayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone is going to go through that if they don't heed the warning that we give at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, we're all unique, we're all different, but yet we're all so much alike, and our stories are so much alike, and the problems that we encounter, while they come in many different flavors, at the root, they amount to the same thing.
I was telling George today that that we were going to have this session, and I said, I'll bet you Dwayne's had this conversation 1,000 times with 1,000 different people, and he says the same thing every time. And, you know, it's the same use case over and over, and people go through. I remember you talking about Jim saying, you know, he didn't come straight out of the chute after 3 weeks, learn the trades, get in the 24/20 plan, start going. Didn't he have some adjustment up front early where he had to learn things?
He struggled. Yeah, he struggled not just with us, but he struggled with a couple of different other trading organizations before coming to us. But
yeah,
once he got to us and he started to understand the real concept of the discipline and the thinking in probabilities and all those kinds of things, that's what it was, that foundation that allowed him to suss out that little white bar trade that he does. That's kind of become his trademark. He still does some of the other trades too, but he's built his skill set up to the point where he can watch a couple different markets. And if his white bar trade pops up over here, he'll trade that. Or if it's, you know, something else that pops up over here that he understands, he'll trade that. I mean, that's where I can tell you exactly where his skill set is right now, to the tick. You know where that is?
What's that?
7 contracts.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing. So he has to trade during prime time then, right?
He trades from 8:30 to 11:30.
Okay, yeah, because there's enough volume at that point in time.
I do believe, but he's my co-host every Wednesday. So anytime you want to go back and listen to one of Wednesday's shows, you can hear. Now this past Wednesday, because we were discussing some other topic. I think he was having a chart issue, and so he wasn't able to show his charts this past Wednesday. But the previous couple of Wednesdays, that's what he's done, is walk us through all of his trades. But what was the question? I started to answer, but you had a question.
Oh, well, we were talking about how he didn't come right out of the chute.
Oh yeah. He struggled, and he came real close to throwing in the towel, in his own words, and he talks about that openly. And even when he was on 6 contracts, going back about probably a month ago, he came on the show, and the first words out of his mouth was, "Man, I got my butt kicked today." Oh, okay, what happened? It was the day that WASDE report came out on soybeans. Remember the day soybeans dropped 70 cents?
Yeah.
He had made money in crude. He had made money on the Russell, and he had an order and a trade. He was in a trade in soybeans, and when the WASDE came out, it moved so fast that it jumped his stop. And that disclaimer's everywhere that in fast-moving markets, even a hard stop can get jumped. So be careful, and don't keep a lot of extra money in your trading account other than, what's needed to trade the level you're at right now. And so I think he ended up, even though he had made money, and he made money in crude, made money in the Russell, I still think he ended up, he was either down for the day 1,200 or 2,400, and he cut it off. He was just done for the day.
How many? I mean, so I felt like I had no prior trading experience.
Mm-hmm. None. You had zero. So you hadn't been through any other courses or classes or anything at all.
No. The only thing I'd done is back in the .com boom, because I worked for Sun Microsystems, when you could get a monkey to throw a dart at the Wall Street Journal. Everybody made money, right?
Yeah.
But that was the equity. But I had I mean, before this, George Perkins had to tell me what this was. I had no, but And I think that's actually worked in my favor.
I bought Network Solutions for 70 and sold it at 400, just because it had net in its name. I mean,
yeah, right.
Net, internet. Okay, cool. I'll take that. You know.
Boom, and you make a 300% profit. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm wondering, is it how long does it take people to get from entering the free trial to actually trading real money? Because it seems like it's taken me forever.
Well, let's think about how long has it taken you? You started with this when?
February.
Okay, and so this is August. We're into September.
Yep.
So 7 months. 7 months. Now, what things could you have possibly done differently that would have shortened that time frame?
Listen to what you said.
That's funny.
Well, it's true. Like in the beginning, so I probably fiddled away a month before I started recording my trade. I probably fiddled away probably another 60 plus days not having the courage to come to you guys and say, even though you say every day, if you're not doing this, you need to come and talk to us. I was embarrassed to do that and found out that I wasn't executing some of the trades properly, just minor things, but that, they were costing me. Mm-hmm. I just didn't, and then it was just not following the rules, not getting my stop up. Momentum trades killed me because they pay off so handsomely when they hit.
Yeah.
So I was always trying to do momentum trades. And I'll tell you now, I rarely do momentum trades because it's just not worth it to me to take that chance.
So so just primarily you're doing the slingshot trade?
I'm primarily doing the slingshot trade. Well, the other thing that I meant to tell you was these trade alerts have turned me around. And the fact that you give me those is really changed the game for me. And I'll show you why. I'll just show you why. Did you say the trade alerts? Yeah, concierge trade alerts.
Okay.
So the last trade I took today. Now I'm right up against having to be working my job, right?
Okay.
825. I hit 14 in gold. And here's the reason why. Where's my trading journal? If you're interested in this, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So here's my trading journal. Look at this last trade. So it's a slingshot, right? It comes back, it hits, it comes down, I enter, it slips a little. But you see this red line? This is Dwayne's concierge trade alert. So I am.
Okay, now let me look at my alerts. What market was that today?
This is gold.
Gold. Short below 1128. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
So I have these marked in all 6 markets that I look at.
Okay.
And
if I'm not mistaken, Jim does the same thing too. He puts those on there as well. Okay.
In fact, you see the red line? That's the short trade alert. It's 1 tick below your number.
Okay.
And then a little bit above that, I have this black line.
Mm-hmm.
And this black line actually has DT Pro. It has a voice alert that says trade alert low gold. So my chart tells me I'm coming up on a
you know what? People are always asking me about that. When you do the next little tutorial, can you explain how to set that up? Or
absolutely.
Yeah. And so, in other words, well, gosh, now you got my curiosity up. Well, you had my attention the whole time. But so that black line, when price touches the black line, it gives you an audible alert that says you're approaching a concierge trade alert.
Yeah, this is what it says. Let's see if I can I'll bring up the sound file that I recorded.
Oh, you made your own sound file?
Yeah, it's my voice.
Home rolled. All right.
Yeah, and then I just, so let's see if I have it in here. Yeah, audio alert. I also have it, so if it's, once a market starts trending again, then it also, like here it is, gold, so you see gold trending lower. So here's a trade alert high euro. Let's play this. I don't know if you can. Oh, I have unmuted it. Hold on. Because, well, I'm doing, my real job, I'll have conference calls and in the background, trade alert high. So I have to mute it during. I don't know if you heard that.
Try it one more time.
Let me get closer to the trade alert high.
Yeah. I heard it.
Yeah, so if I'm not particularly paying attention to that market and I hear that, boom, I look up and see the prices heading that way, man, I got my order on there, ready to go.
God, people have been asking me forever, how can they set up those kinds of alerts? If you can work that into your next tutorial, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I can do that. And you can see, let's see.
Now,
okay,
beans trending lower, beans trending higher. What kind of parameters do you use to tell you that it's trending lower or trending higher?
Okay, well, here's a perfect example. So this is S&P, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there you can see this is the trade alert long. That's the green line here. Okay. So you can see I did 5.6 today in S&P, but after that trade, actually this was before that trade. See that blue line up there?
Yeah.
That blue line has an alert on it. So I'm looking left there, and I'm looking at the previous high. And so this is the whole. It's got to be trending, so the high has to be higher. That's my signal that, hey, price has crossed higher than the last high, so now we're in a trending market. You can look to trade now. And so every chart has a blue line like that. Let's see if I can find the
now, do you have to write that out in some kind of code, or you can't write that in plain English, do you?
You want me to show you how to do it?
Is it easy language? Yeah, I got you.
I gotta start the chart to show you, but it's really simple. I mean,
okay.
In fact, I was in Vegas at a sales meeting, and I have a work computer that's much smaller. I don't have the real estate, and so that's when I thought of this. And I was having trouble at that point in my training where I just was not trading in trending markets because I didn't have the discipline to wait. So that's when I dreamed this up. And I'm sitting there in a hotel room and I'm thinking, is there a way to tie an alert, set an alert? Because I know you can make it ding, right?
Right.
And sure enough, you can point to a sound file. So bear with me. But that's
and you can probably, if you don't want to use your own voice, doesn't Windows include something where you could like type it in and it would translate text to voice?
Probably so. You could, yeah. Yeah, or you could. There's probably some site out there that you could use Audacity and figure out how to use the. Or you can use your phone probably.
Oh, well, you know what? There's sites you can go to where you can turn text into a sound file, and you can choose, like, if you want a British female voice, or you want, an Australian male voice, or there's some free sites out there like that you can type something in and it will convert it to a little audio file. I just caution folks if you're going to use that, that you would, if anybody were to use a site like that, they would, once they download the file, before you put it on your computer or open it up or execute it, that you use whatever your antivirus software is to scan the sound file, because you never know, what kind of rogue site you're going to stumble across.
Oh yeah, yeah. There are evil people out there for sure.
Hey, just and for transparency's sake, about halfway through our conversation today,
yes,
I flipped the record switch, so I was going to wait until we were done and let you know, and then ask you, would it be okay to share this conversation and this lesson? But I don't know, it's starting to bug me now, and I feel like I should just go ahead and tell you. And then if you don't want me to, I won't. It's not a problem.
Yeah, you know me. I'm an open book.
You really are, and that's what I But so now nobody has to wonder, did he really not tell him? No, I really didn't. And we've probably been, we started our conversation exactly an hour ago. And I'm guessing it was probably 30, 40 minutes ago that I thought to myself, man, this is like too good not to capture. And so I just hit the record button. So anyway.
Oh, that's funny.
But I would have burned it if you just said burn it. I'd have burned it. So.
Well, let's see. Let's look at. So here's beans, right? So if you. So I don't ever take these lines off. So this is the high. Now, obviously, I haven't traded for hours and hours and hours.
Gotcha.
But if you right-click on it, I'm sorry, if you go to alert, you can see there's an alert list. So you can go in. So I set up. So it's just attached to the line. So if you go to the edit, and then I don't know if you can hear that, but okay, I see. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Barely.
Right. So that's now the way you do it is you right click on you put the line in.
Okay.
And
just drop a horizontal line, right?
Yeah, you drop a horizontal line. I just have it, infinite line, and then you go
that's
to,
important that it be infinite, right?
Yes. Yeah. And it stays on forever. Then you come down, you right click it, and then you come down to alert, and then you can say create alert.
Okay.
All right. And then this one, you can see I have it.
It says alert list. Is that predefined alerts, or are those alerts that you created?
They're ones that you create.
Okay.
So what I do is I take, so it just, you could put, I don't think this is right. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll be out in a minute. I guess we have a leak in the house.
You got a what?
A leak in the house.
Oh, so you're home for a few days. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm not traveling. So
okay, well listen, if you need to go take care of that, maybe we could pick this up. I mean, is it like you need to go? Kind of.
Yeah, she's saying there's water gushing, so I gotta go.
Okay, well let's. This is a beautiful cliffhanger. Can we maybe pick it up later in the week and you finish showing us how to do that?
Yes, I'm not traveling at all this week, so
okay.
let me know what works for you. I do have swim meet.
I'm good same time tomorrow if that works for you.
Actually, Tuesday and Thursday, my son has swim meet Tuesday and Thursday this week.
Okay,
so
how about Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday, let me just look real quick. Wednesday this week.
People will swear that we staged this whole cliffhanger thing, but we really didn't.
let's do it. Can you send me an email? Let's do it Wednesday at 5.
Yeah, I'll send you an email with the link, the whole deal.
Okay, all right, thanks, Dwayne.
All right, man. Thank you, Dan.
All right,
bye-bye.
Take care. Okay, bye.
Okay. Well, there you go, folks. What an incredible conversation. Now, this is a real-life partner. He's the Dan behind, I guess I should take the screens back, and I can show you who he's the Dan behind. Screen. Dwayne, make presenter. Yes. And there we go. Okay. So he's this Dan. What? Do I really have a bad gateway? Wow. Looks like I do. I don't even know what that means. All right, let me make sure my website's working. Oh, I bet he might be in the middle of editing something. Or maybe my website's down. Well, that's embarrassing. Huh. What in the world? I was just there moments ago. In fact, I've been all over it all day. Okay, well, now I need to get off, not only because we're done, but because I got to go find out what's wrong with the website. So it is, the link, once the website's back up, is cfrn.net /performance-tracker. cfrn.net/performance-tracker. Okay, so there you had an incredibly candid interview / conversation with Dan, who didn't know he was being recorded until the very end. And tomorrow will be his 10th day in a row. Remember the 24/20 blueprint? Got to do 10 days in a row where you make $100 in 10 trades or less. Okay? He didn't get it on his first run. He talked about how he could have gotten there sooner. Point is he's there. He's built this beautiful app. When the site's back up and you can go see this app, this performance tracker and all that it does, and you saw glimpses of it during the course of this video. In fact, let me get this video uploaded. You can watch it, and then on Wednesday afternoon, today is August 31st, and current time is 6:09 p.m. Eastern. Here's what will happen. Wednesday, we'll finish this up, and you can go and watch the tutorials on that page. In order to download the actual app, you do have to be a CFRN partner. Okay? So have a look, watch some of the tutorials, see what amazing things this app does that Dan created. Really does serve as a great accountability partner. But I would say more, but I'm going to stop because I need to go nursemaid my website, see what the heck's going on. And I will see all of you in the live trading room tomorrow. If you have questions about anything that was discussed in today's Candid discussion, send an email to support@cfrn.net, or you can call us 949-42-EMINI. That's 949-42-EMINI. If you want to take the free trial, go to cfrn.net/apply. cfrn.net/apply. Okay? All right, thanks so much. And if I don't see you before, I'll talk to you Wednesday afternoon when I talk to Dan. Take care.